Welcome to the Herd's official YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the Colin Cowherd podcast, all of our NFL instant reactions, and more football content.
So, there's been a lot made of Shedeur Sanders. He deserves a fair chance. And so yesterday I thought it was pretty straightforward and pretty obvious that Dillon Gabriel started before Shedeur Sanders because Dillon Gabriel had so many more college starts and was more prepared initially to start and grasp the offense. And Shedeur, eventually, his talent is better, would rise. I don't think it's a conspiracy theory. I think that's obvious. Do a little homework. Dillon Gabriel broke a college record for most college starts or something, right? Like, it's just an insane number compared to Shedeur. So Shedeur eventually is more talented. But the other reason Shedeur is going to get a chance in Cleveland, make it or break it, all you have to do is look at the current 2026 NFL draft order. For the radio audience, I've put in the top 12 teams. Outside of the Giants, Tennessee, Washington, and probably Cincinnati, although I would draft a quarterback if I was Cincinnati, third, fourth, fifth round, Burrow's injuries adding up, 8 of 12 arguably need a quarterback. Supply can't keep up with demand. The Rams are going to draft a quarterback first or second pick. They don't need him now, but they want it in-house. I mean, all you need to know is the Colts are asking 44-year-old Phillip Rivers to come out of retirement. Dude, he's like 4 years away from getting that AARP card in the mail. This year earlier, the Bengals, Joe Burrow got hurt. Who did they immediately call? Cleveland, Joe Flacco, 40. That's why I've said Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback for Indiana, if Dante Moore doesn't come out, there's going to be a bidding war to get this kid. He's 6'5", big arm, wholesome. He's leading Indiana to the Big Ten championship. So Shedeur's going to get a run because Mac Jones, Kyler Murray's going to get paid by somebody. Daniel Jones getting paid by the Colts. So, this whole thing about Shedeur Sanders, I would take Shedeur Sanders because he's a fifth-round pick and he's basically free for the next 3 years. I would start him this year and next year over paying Kyler Murray's contract. I wouldn't want to be burdened by it. Plus, I think Shedeur's likable. He's selling merch. He's selling tickets. It's fascinating. It's talked about. There's no other reason to talk about the Browns. But if you go look at the draft order, supply cannot keep up with demand. And the NIL now, these kids like Dante Moore and Ty Simpson can make $4 million winning 11, 12 games in college. Why come out and get a nosebleed and get your brains beaten in? So the Giants will not draft a quarterback. And I think they're too talented not to win another game. I think the Titans don't need a quarterback. You can argue everybody else. Commanders won't take one, maybe in the 4th, 5th, 6th round with Jaden Daniels' injuries adding up again. But here, Urban Meyer, Fernando Mendoza is the only can't miss, have to draft. He's the number 1 pick. I believe there'll be a bidding war. Here's Urban Meyer, who was at that Big Ten championship game on Mendoza.
Here's what I think about him as an NFL prospect. I've changed. I made a comment before this game. He should come back. I don't think so now. I saw what against a team that had better talent than Indiana, and he won that freaking game. He got hit right square in the face at the first play of the game and toughed his way through it. So I think he's NFL ready. I didn't say that before this game.
Today's show brought to you by our new presenting sponsor, Hard Rock Bet. I just spent the weekend down in Hollywood, Florida, at an amazing facility. The holidays are here and the sports schedule is packed, tighter than Santa's gift bag. Week 15 football, bowl games, NBA, college hoops, hockey, the whole sports sleigh is loaded. And on Hard Rock Bet, there's always something to unwrap and bet on. New customers can sign up, bet $5 on any game. If it wins, you'll find $150 in bonus bets on top of your winnings stuffed in your stocking. That's holiday magic. Not sure what to place your first bet? Hard Rock Bet just launched a brand new For You page, making it easy to find all your favorite teams, players, and leagues all in one spot. I love it. The Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook app, the only legal sportsbook for whenever you're in Florida, It's also live in Arizona, Ohio, New Jersey, Indiana, Tennessee, Virginia, Illinois, Colorado, and Michigan now. Coming soon to more states as well. Plus, Hard Rock Bet offers new promos daily. So whenever you're listening, just open the app, check out what you've got any day of the week, download the Hard Rock Bet app. It's awesome. Make your first deposit.
It is a Wednesday. Season's greetings from Fox Sports, live in L.A. It's The Herd. Wherever you may be, however you may be listening, whatever platform, thanks for making us part of your day. There are some things that are absolutely true. It just takes a while to prove them, and people will push back. But some things definitively, they're obvious, but we're not comfortable just saying something that is definitively proof over time, absolutely factual. The NFL is a big man's game. So Nick Sirianni is the coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. They're in a losing streak, and Jalen Hurts is struggling. And Nick Sirianni on WIP radio in Philadelphia was asked about replacing him.
Is there a possibility later this season, if he continues to struggle, that you can make a change at the quarterback spot?
No, I think that's ridiculous. I think, Jalen Hurts, I know every time I go out in that field with Jalen Hurts as our quarterback, we have a chance to win the game. And that's something that's been proven. Every time I walk out in that field and Jalen Hurts is the starting quarterback, I have so much confidence that we can win every game and any game that we play that we're in.
Yeah, except for the last 3 or 4, which you keep losing. The truth is, the more Jalen Hurts throws, the worse Philadelphia is. Those are the facts. If he throws over 30 times, they're not very good. So I'm going to give you a list of current quarterbacks in the NFL that lead their division or are leading in the MVP race, or their name is Joe Burrow. Here's their heights. You can put up the graphic for our TV audience. 6'6", 6'6", 6'5", 6'4", 6'4", 6'4", 6'3", 6'3", 6'3". I'm 6'2". I can't be taller than your franchise quarterback. These are the first place quarterbacks, or Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen probably wins MVP, certainly deserves it. In the last 20 years, there have been 2 Super Bowl champion quarterbacks that we've all sort of gone, whoa, that's surprising. Nick Foles, 6'5", and Joe Flacco, 6'6". Have you noticed how quickly the smaller quarterbacks age? Tua, beat up. Kyler Murray, hurt a lot. Brock Purdy, banged up a lot. Jalen Hurts, on a losing streak. Dylan Gabriel, benched. Bryce Young, been banged up. And it's not just the size. As we show you a picture of Jalen Hurts from the camera, look how small he looks. He's smart. He's athletic. He's tough. He's tiny. It's not just the size and the length of the quarterback. It's the length of the season. It's now 17 games. NFL defensive players are bigger, stronger, faster. The hits hurt more. They're more punitive. 17 regular season games, 4 playoff games. I'll give you an example. Justin Herbert this year. Justin Herbert went to dinner last night with the GM of the Chargers. Justin Herbert is, they say, closer to 6'7" than 6'6". He's a large man. He's been hit 106 times. He currently has a broken hand and no run game. And yet his team is 9-4. Meanwhile, Tua, when he's hit just 7 times in a game, they came out of the same draft class. When Tua is just hit 7 times a game, he's 1-6. Jalen Hurts is small. People have tried to convince me height doesn't matter. Go look at our graphic again of first-place quarterbacks in the NFL. Josh Allen's going to win MVP, and a guy named Joe Burrow, who there's an argument is the best pure thrower in the sport, and he's 6'4". Yeah, the part of the Jalen Hurts thing, I love how we showed you that video. We showed you that video of Jalen Hurts throwing the ball behind the massive Eagles O-line. The problem is all O-lines are massive. Average size 6'5.5" to 6'6.5". Look for yourself. It's cluttered. It's hard to see. Well, what about Baker Mayfield? Smaller than I'd like, throws a lot of picks. Some of them, in my opinion, overcompensation emotionally, overcompensation physically. Trying to make plays, his body, his arm, and his vision can't. So I was talking to that GM last night about Caleb Williams. Not going to get into details, but we got into this discussion last night. What in the world do you do with a quarterback that is completing 58% of his throws? Will he ever get better? Well, here's what's interesting. If you look at the Bears quarterback Caleb Williams' second-year stats, this year's stats, they're identical to Josh Allen's second-year stats in Buffalo. Identical. Both completing 58% of their throws with about 20 touchdowns, not that many picks, and they're winning a lot. But Josh Allen has moved to 70% this year in completion percentage. One of my beliefs, because he's throwing to the tight ends more, easier throws. Their receiving group in Buffalo stinks. So he's not throwing the ball down the field as much. His completion percentage hasn't risen dramatically just because he's more accurate. No, Josh throws to the tight ends more. Those are shorter, easier throws. The truth is, I don't think completion percentage matters as much. If you're wildly athletic, like Caleb, Bo Nix is really athletic, Josh Allen, or you're on your rookie contract. Well, why would that matter? Because Denver and Chicago, Bo Nix and Caleb, have great rosters. Everybody's talking about Ben Johnson. Everybody's talking about Caleb Williams. What's not being discussed is how stacked the Bears roster is because they're not paying Caleb anything. They have the number 3 offensive line of 32 teams, the Bears do. And 2 of their guys, Drew Dahlman and Joe Tooney, are top 10. They're number 1 in takeaways with 2 Pro Bowlers, Kevin Byard and Jalen Johnson. Montez Sweat, 8.5 sacks, top 12 in the NFL. They're number 2 in rushing, 2 excellent backs, and a multitude of really good receivers and tight ends. Lost in the conversation with Bo Nix and Caleb, the Broncos and the Bears rosters with 2 brilliant offensive coaches are loaded. So generally in life, the more money you make, the more mistakes you can make with money. In the NFL, the less money you make as a quarterback, the less perfect you have to be. Now, Caleb's great on third down. Bo Nix is great in the fourth quarter, but they're wildly uneven. You're allowed to be, when you're on your rookie contract, have an offensive coach and are really, really above average in athleticism. So Caleb Williams on third down is outstanding. And he's obviously coachable, durable, and athletic. I'm good with that now. He's going to win a lot of games, and so is Bo Nix, until perhaps they get the big contract. But everybody looks at Josh Allen and goes, well, he's so accurate now. Do you think it's a coincidence he has his worst receiving core? He's throwing more underneath and more often to tight ends. Josh Allen is still all about power, horsepower, running, leaping over people. We don't think Josh Allen hyper accurate. We think of the dynamic athleticism. So I think Caleb, Bo Nix, athleticism, to some degree on your rookie contract, trumps all the accuracy. I mean, ask yourself what Bo and Caleb have done this year. Look at their records. What are they, 20-6? And neither one's terribly accurate. It tells you how good the coaches and the rosters are, what you get away with when you're not paying the quarterback anything. This is what RG3 about a week ago said about Caleb Williams' completion percentage.
Accuracy is a myth, all right? Accuracy to me is always dependent upon where the defense is and what you're trying to get the receiver to do. So where I think his 61% completion percentage comes from is more so the fact that he is willing to take more chances to have big plays occur, which drives down his completion percentage. Do you want a guy that's going to be a check down Charlie? Do you want a guy that is not going to take those risks deep down the field because he's afraid to make mistakes? I don't think that's who Caleb Williams is.
We also have a topic today, and I have said this, that I believe the Los Angeles Dodgers are not only the best run sports operation in North America, Canada, us, all sports. And when you're really smart and well run, you are planning years ahead. So there's a lot of fear in baseball right now that the Dodgers are pulling away, back-to-back champs, just signed Edwin Diaz, the best closer in baseball, arguably, and they may sign over the next 2 days the two-time Cy Young winner out of Detroit. Why the Dodgers understand what is happening in the world and why the NBA is missing out on this, that's coming up.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. Netflix is basically Santa this year. 2 NFL games on Christmas Day streaming live. At 1 Eastern, Cowboys Commanders. Dallas is suddenly red hot. Could play big for the NFC playoff picture. Then at 4:30, you've got the Lions struggling against the Vikings. That's Midwest football playoff stakes. 2 teams battling it out for the number 1 seed last year. Must win for Detroit. Watching holiday football is a tradition the whole family can enjoy. Open some gifts, grab some food, settle in, and watch NFL Live on Netflix Christmas Day starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Time.
J-Mac with the news.
No.
Turn on the news.
This is the Herd Line News.
That was your best take of the week. Now for my best take of the year, the Kansas City Chiefs, who are on the fringe of missing the playoffs, Colin. It's close. It's very close. They can be mathematically eliminated this weekend with a loss to the Chargers, and if the Bills, Jags, and Texans win. Bills have a tough one against the Patriots, so I don't know if they'll be eliminated. Travis Kelce continues to look. Listen, we said maybe he's washed. That was an awful game, an awful ending, and Taylor Swift was there to see it.
You know, it's interesting, Jason. There are a lot of defenders saying, well, look at his numbers. They're actually kind of good. But remember this. Who wasn't available for the first 6 weeks? Rashee Rice. Xavier Worthy in and out of the lineup. They have no run game. So early in the season, it was like he was the guy to throw to.
Right.
So on any normal, if you would have put him with Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams and Kyron Williams and Matt Stafford, the numbers wouldn't be what they are. People are looking at his overall numbers that they're not contextualizing is he was for the first 6 weeks dire for their offense.
By the way, 6 weeks coming off an off season where he was rested. Now we're 14 weeks in. He's looking slow. I mean, he's lumbering around. Like, I don't want to bash the guy. But anyways, here he is talking about his frustration in the NFL.
I don't know, discipline. I feel like I've always had the answers in years past, and this year I just can't find them. And I keep thinking if I show up to work and I put in the work and I fix the issues through my practice habits and through perfecting the game plan and my fundamentals and what I'm being taught, and go out there and try and play my ass off for my guys next to me, it's all going to come together like it has in years past. And this year it's just not, man.
It's okay to say it. He's old and not as effective as he was. Well, but it's not just Travis Kelce. He's not even like a top 3 problem on the team.
Well,
right?
and I think I think you nail it. I think older players can be very effective early, but this sport wears you down. I mean, first of all, we all feel a little worse when it's cold, right? You're getting hit. It's multiple games, 8 surgeries. So he's had an unbelievable career. He's first, second, or third best tight end I've ever watched.
Yeah.
Easy guy to root for. Love the Chiefs. Love everything they're about. But when people throw out the numbers and the production, first 6 weeks, no Rashee Rice, Worthy's in and out of the lineup. They can't run the ball. A lot of that stuff has not been contextualized.
I mean, we thought Rice would be a number 1. He's not a number 1, Colin. He's not. He's a good receiver. I'm seeing reports, hey, they need to go get a boundary receiver. They really, now we're starting to miss Tyreek Hill. Can they go get Brandon Ayuk? Do they go get, let's get Pickens if the Cowboys don't want to keep him? I don't know, man. I saw a number. They are $42 million over the cap next year. This team is going to look so different, Colin. They're going to have to move off guys. They have no offensive linemen that are good on the tackles. I don't know, man. Your thoughts on Chargers, Chiefs? Chiefs are 4.5-point favorites somehow.
I like the Chargers. I mean, to me, the Chargers right now are doing it with a little grit and guile. but they do have playmakers.
Yeah.
Trey Harris.
By the way, if McDuffie's out, that is devastating.
Quentin
for the
Johnson, Ladd McConkey, Hampton, Herbert. I just feel like they've got more juice offensively. When you watch the Chiefs play, that O-line has unraveled everything on offense.
Yeah, it's bad. All right, let's move to a nicer story. That's the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin, big win last week over the Ravens, thanks to the refs. But it's funny. Tomlin, he's a quote machine. And you got Big Ben and company taking some jabs at Tomlin. Well, Mike Tomlin was asked about how he feels regarding job security. Here's what the quote machine had to say.
Man, I've been in the hot seat for 19 years. I always feel like I got something to prove, not necessarily to anyone in particular, but that's just the spirit in which I go about what I do professionally. Man, I expect him to show up, man. It's Monday Night Football in Acrisure. It's going to be a big game.
I'll tell you, he's got a little smile, though.
Well, they got to win. Huge. I mean, that's a major exhale. We're not talking about Tomlin going to the TV booth or if he's going to coach Penn State. None of that stuff. It's all done. They're locked in.
Tomlin gets offended when you suggest television or the college game. He'd be unbelievable on TV. He'd be a total rock star on TV.
Unbelievable.
He's a quote machine. He's the greatest quote ever for a head coach.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally talks in TV sound bites. 9 seconds. It's like you could write his stuff, put an exclamation point. He's the best soundbite ever.
By the way, let's be real. If the Steelers decided we're moving off him, the Jets probably would fire their coach to go after him. The Titans would just be, please come here. Any opening, he's the number one candidate, right? Over Dable? Yeah, it has to be.
Oh, yeah.
So
I don't think it's a criticism of Tomlin to say, I think Mike Tomlin's value in stabilizing Miami is unbelievable.
Well, by the way, they play Miami. Interesting game. Dolphins are sneaky in the playoff hunt, barely.
That's crazy.
They
have the same record as the Chiefs.
The primetime games this week are not great. No. Tampa, Falcons.
But the games, Fox has a couple of beauties.
During the core window on Sunday, yes. I don't know, Steelers, Dolphins, I don't have a side here. You got anything or no?
No. I think this is a good, I had a winning week. Do you have a winning week?
Yeah.
I think it's a good week for numbers. This is a good betting week.
There's a couple games that stand out for sure. Final story.
We haven't said that in about 5 or 6 weeks. It is a good betting week.
Well, this final story, I love this game. The Packers, Broncos. Colin, Green Bay is back. Okay. They had some, they lost to the Panthers. It was brutal, but they've won 4 straight, including that win over your Bears, first in the NFC North. Interestingly, Jordan Love said one of the keys to their success has been finding explosive plays. Enter Christian Watson. How good does he look? Christian Watson on a heater. Last 4 games, 5 touchdowns, 17 catches.
And Jordan Love loves the deep ball.
You can't guard Watson one-on-one. I'm sorry. He's faster and bigger than everyone. Colin, interesting. They're favored in this game. Denver's won 10 in a row. Denver's at home, and Green Bay's favored. We're seeing that in 2. The Patriots have also won 10 in a row.
And Buffalo's favored.
They're at home, and Buffalo's favored. So that should tell you guys something. I love this game. I don't want to give away all my picks. Jordan Love is on fire with the deep ball. Now, are the Broncos going to blitz him and leave Patrick Surtain and company on islands?
Listen, we thought Tucker Kraft getting hurt for the year. You're like, oh, bummer. Once Watson comes back,
Jaden Reed's back, by the way. He played last week sparingly.
Last week, Bo Melton had a touchdown.
Yeah, he played a little more than Golden did. Golden, the young kid from Texas. Do you have anything on your Broncos and Bo Nix?
Every week there's a game I just want to watch. This is a great game.
Interesting. Bo Nix could be in some trouble here.
It could be.
Micah Parsons.
It could be. J-Mac with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
Live in L.A., warm L.A. I was down in MB last night, J-Mac. Your territory. Was about ready to call you and Luke and have a game of basketball in the backyard.
Luca's got a newborn. He can't hang.
You got about 6 kids. You can't either.
I do not have 6 kids. You actually do. The old blended action.
All right. So I've said before, I'm kind of rooting for the Buffalo Bills to win a Super Bowl for 2 reasons. The city deserves it. My wife used to work in HR. She was always like, nicest people in the world in Buffalo. And it's just like, I just root for, the Cubs to win a World Series. It's like, come on. Great fans, Waveland Avenue, Wrigley Field. I mean, there is very little. I was just talking to somebody about this yesterday. If Wrigley Field was over in Europe, everybody would be like, oh, once in your life, you got to fly to Europe and go to Wrigley. It's unbelievable. I now live in Chicago most of the time. It's incredible. And so you root for the Cubs. I root for Buffalo. But Josh Allen, this should be the year, the moment in time he wins. Mahomes may not make the playoffs. Burrow's not going to make the playoffs. Lamar Jackson may not make the playoffs. Justin Herbert's just trying to stay alive with that offensive line. This should be the year. But I don't think they're going to do it. And I think it reminds me, he just won AFC Player of the Week 3rd time this year. This reminds me of John Elway with Denver. John Elway had a lot of good teams. He was the most talented quarterback for a decade, his generation. And Dan Reeves was a good coach. Mike Shanahan was a better fit and a great coach. They had to upgrade from a really good coach, and he had to get Terrell Davis. And then John Elway, instead of getting blown out in Super Bowl, started winning them. That's where I feel we are with Josh Allen. I like Sean McDermott. He's Dan Reeves. It's an offensive league, man. They just, too many times, situationally in big spots, they get worked. And I like James Cook. He leads all running backs with fumbles. They can't stop the run. They're tight ends only on offense, throwing the ball down the field. He needs his Mike Shanahan, and he needs his Terrell Davis in the form of a wide receiver. Somebody who played with Elway and Mike Shanahan, Mark Schlereth, is joining us live from Denver. So you played only with Shanahan, so you didn't experience the Reeves. And I don't think John Elway's difficult, but with certain personalities, John has a strong point of view. Shanny was a better fit. I look at Buffalo. Mark, I believe this is their year. Mahomes, Burrow, you've watched them play. What's your take on my take that even though we like McDermott, I feel like it's time?
Yeah, I mean, you're losing a game to the Cincinnati Bengals, who don't have a defense, a week ago. And when the going gets rough, whether it's playoff football or whether it's a game like last week, it always feels like the coaching staff says, hey, Josh, go win this game for us. Go do something remarkable. Put on your Superman cape. Make an unbelievable throw or scramble for 40 yards and beat somebody. That's what it feels like in Buffalo. And I was doing a Miami game a couple of weeks ago, and I watched Miami beat the Buffalo Bills, and I thought to myself, they can't stop the run. They aren't very good on that side of the ball. They don't have a ton of weapons for Josh Allen. And I thought from an offensive standpoint, the number of mistakes they made in the running game, the number of misidentified defenses they had, all these different things that I looked at, and I was thoroughly unimpressed with the Buffalo Bills as a football team. I was blown away by their quarterback, but thoroughly underimpressed with everything else, Colin. So I'm with you. This is the year. No Burrow, as you mentioned. No Mahomes, as you mentioned. Lamar, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. This feels like the year that if you put it all together, you could take your team to a championship game. And yet I'm with you. I don't believe they're going to make it. I think they're too flawed everywhere else, and they just rely too much on Josh Allen.
So you did Shedeur Sanders game last week, which was actually a very entertaining game. And I said, I don't believe the conspiracy theories. I think Dylan Gabriel played so many college games. He was just more ready to be an NFL quarterback than Shedeur was. But Shedeur, I think, has more talent. And over time, you see the talent. But I don't think there was a conspiracy theory. It's just Dylan had so many reps in college, like Bo Nix, he was kind of ready to play. What did you make of Shedeur? Soup to nuts, top to bottom. What did you make of him?
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. I mean, the conspiracy theorists are stupid. You've got one of 32 teams. There's one. He's been the two-time coach of the year, and you think he's bringing out the crappy plays for Shedeur to run to sabotage him? Like, what are we talking about? Any of you conspiracy theorists are dumb. You're just dumb. It's not how the NFL works. I mean, the odds are Stefanski's probably going to be let go. And, ultimately, you've got to have a guy in the meeting rooms. You've got to have a guy in the organization that can spit it out on a grease board. Well, listen, maybe that's not Shedeur's strong suit. He told me, man, I learned by playing. That's where I learned my best. Shedeur still has a ton of growth to go as far as becoming a complete NFL quarterback, anticipatory throws, reading a defense, and doing all those things. But he's exceptionally gifted. I was shocked at how good he was in that game about avoiding the rush, avoiding contact, keeping the play alive, scrambling around. And then when he gets one-on-one opportunities versus man coverage, or when things break down, his ability to throw an absolute dime piece is exceptional. That's where he is great. But like all young quarterbacks, Cam Ward on the other side, they still are a work in progress when it comes to learning an offense and learning how to orchestrate through a progression. And, his strong suit isn't anticipatory throws. His strong suit is finding the one-on-one coverage and absolutely letting it eat. And he threw a couple of guys open with some throws that to me were just big-time throws. But that stuff is easy to see. It's the other things, the underlying things that are hard to do as an NFL quarterback. And that's where he needs a lot of work. And, he's going to get his opportunity here in the next 4 weeks to get that done. But to think that a coach is going to sabotage a player because he doesn't like him, it's your reputation, it's your legacy, it's your job on the line. That's the absolute dumbest thing I've ever heard.
One of the things I like about you living in Denver and the Broncos being good is you have sources, you watch every practice, you get the video that we don't get. You get the stories, reading the Denver Post or watch the news. You are embedded, feet on the ground. And obviously, I love Peyton. I think their roster's excellent. I don't watch every snap, but I watch every game to some point. Where have you seen the growth with Bo Nix? Or has there been? Because he came in with 61 college starts, right? So, you kind of feel like his game is his game. Have you seen growth? Or are you concerned that, he's still really uneven, great in the fourth, not good in the first half?
Yeah, the last 3 weeks or so, I've seen a ton of growth, Colin.
Okay.
And I think one of the hard things to do when you're a very gifted athlete is to not let your athletic competition take over. You still have to play with this subdued nature. You have to play in a rhythm. And I think where Bo struggles is that competitive nature where things break down and instead of being composed, he gets a little frenetic, He doesn't climb the pocket. He sprints up in the pocket. And I watched him early in the year where he climbed the pocket so hard, he sprinted up in the pocket so hard, he missed a wide open receiver because he bumped into one of his offensive linemen. And you're like, dude, calm down. But that's part of that kind of competitive, I was raised by a football coach, just type A personality. And where I've seen Bo make significant strides is calming down, having calmer feet, climbing the pocket, not sprinting in the pocket. And basically, and this is going to sound crazy, occasionally taking a sack or two. Yeah. Right. And that to me signifies, hey, man, there's some growth here. I don't have to be, that crazy athletic competition dude, and I can just orchestrate. And you look at last week, and I know a lot of people, here in Denver got all upset because, well, they didn't push the ball down the football field. He was 31 of 38 for 212 yards, and it was as good as you can play. They had 2 14-play drives and a 19-play drive. Yep, they had I think 7 total drives. And you think about this, in the NFL, you usually have about 12 possessions to get 65 plays. They had 7 possessions and ran 72 plays. They were unbelievably efficient. And Bo was taking what the defense gave him. He was throwing his checkdowns. He had an awareness of where his answers were to blitzes and pressures. I thought he played probably the best game I've seen him play, and it wasn't statistically huge. It's not what you're going to win MVPs on. It's just how you're going to win games in the NFL.
So you have the Texans this week, and I said the 2 teams I would not want to play, the Seahawks and the NFC. They are so fast and aggressive on both sides. You better be buttoned up, and I wouldn't want to play the Texans. They've got playoff experience. I think DeMeco Ryans, you talk about schemes, you're watching film this week, they shut you down. I mean, opposing quarterbacks' passer ratings are 74. I think the Texans are like Seattle. They're going to come in. There's no pressure. We're all talking Rams and Eagles and Lions and Packers. We're all talking the Bills and the Patriots. What do you see with the Texans? Because I said it yesterday. I would not be shocked if they ended up in the AFC Championship game. What do you see with them?
You know, it's always funny. You kind of study the game through the straw hole with which you played. You know, you just get laser focused on, hey, right, what it is they do. And I'm watching them going, man, how would I block these guys? Like Hunter coming off of one edge, Will Anderson. And they don't just try to win or beat you. They try to obliterate you. They try to embarrass you. And you know what I love about them? And this goes back to my playing days, Colin. I was an identity guy. I want to know what we are on offense. I want to know when we get into a situation, 2nd down and 1, we were a conversion team. What are we going to run? Well, I knew 2nd down and 1, man, 3 plays. 1 of 3 plays is coming in. 18-19 handoff, 14-15 handoff, or QB sneak. And I knew it beyond the shadow of a doubt, and it was a 10,000-hour rule. We've done it 10,000 times. You've defended it 100 times. We're better than you, and we know it. And we're going to convert, and we're going to wear your butts out. The Houston Texans, to me, are simple. They're just a simple football team that absolutely bludgeons people. They're the best defense in football. Easily. And I live in Denver. I live in Denver, where Denver's got a great defense. But the Houston Texans, like, I don't see a weakness. Defensive line-wise, they pressure, they beat you up physically, they just wear you out. They've got speed at the linebacker position. They've got an unbelievable secondary. Lassiter on one side, Stingley on the other side. I think Petrie might be the best nickel guy in all of football. Man, they are loaded. They shut down tight ends. They are a damn good, scary defense. And now they lack offensively. They can't block a lot of people, but that defense keeps them in games. And in a must-have-it win at home for the Kansas City Chiefs, they ended them. Mahomes had 3 interceptions, completed 42% of his passes. I mean, they ended the Kansas City Chiefs. It was impressive.
Finally, speaking of Kansas City, is it a rebuild or a retool, in your opinion? They can't run. O-line's weak. Don't get consistent pressure. Kelsey retires. Chris Jones no longer, at least this year, elite. That sounds like a rebuild, not a retool. You've watched them. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's more of a retool. They've had some injuries on their offensive line. They're never, like Andy Reid, as a former offensive lineman, he's never, which is crazy to me, he's never really wanted to run the ball. And so they're still going to have Mahomes. Obviously, Kelsey is not what he once was. I think the biggest thing with Kansas City, really, all the stuff I said about Houston notwithstanding, is defensively they haven't consistently been able to get off the ball, get off the field when they needed to in critical situations. I think that's been the biggest difference with Kansas City this year. They've always been able to get off the field and give their offense one more opportunity, give their offense one more chance. And that really hasn't been the case this year. But I still think it's more of a retool. But, man, when you travel around the league, Colin, and you do games around the league, it's amazing. Like, oh, yeah, I remember when that guy played in Kansas City. Oh, yeah, that guy for that team, yeah, I remember when he played in Kansas City. Oh, yeah, that starting corner, I remember when he was a Kansas City Chief. Oh, that's what happens when you are an elite level football team, is the teams that are trying to get to your stratosphere, they go find your guys in free agency because not only are they really good players and they're disciplined players because they've been coached, they also have a championship pedigree that you want to bring into your organization. So that's what happens to great teams. It's been an unbelievable run over the last 7 years. And being that I'm a Denver Bronco or a former Denver Bronco, I guess never a former, once a Bronco, always a Bronco, I'm happy to say that I'm glad the Kansas City Chiefs have fallen on hard times. It makes me very happy.
Mark Schlereth, Fox Sports, Cardinals, Texans this Sunday. Good talking to you, bud.
Likewise, Colin. Take care, buddy.
Let's look at the AFC and NFC playoff picture. Might as well throw it up there one more time. I mean, nobody would have guessed New England. I like Denver to win the division, but it's not historically. I mean, what's funny about the AFC, you can tell it's not great because it's a lot of teams we didn't expect. The NFC playoff picture, coaches, quarterbacks, stars, we expected. Green Bay, Rams, San Francisco, Detroit, Philadelphia's on hard times. I like Seattle. Seattle is my pick of the year. Nobody liked them. I thought they were going to be a playoff team. But you can tell the NFC is better than the AFC because we're getting who we thought. Great coaches, elite quarterbacks, elite rosters. It's a lot of shock. For about 6 years, 5 years, we kind of felt like we knew who was good in the AFC. All those quarterbacks got paid.
Yeah.
And now the roster, Buffalo's roster, Kansas City's roster, Cincinnati's roster, Buffalo's, they're just not that good.
They're thin. So someone put together an interesting comparison of strength of schedule, whatever that's worth in the NFL. So they looked at who you've played and whether you're good or they're good or not. The New England Patriots have played the 32nd ranked schedule in the league. They've played a lot of bad teams.
They have.
Would you believe Denver has played the 31st toughest schedule? So those two teams at the top of the AFC have played the weakest schedules. It gets worse. Chargers, 30th. Bills, 28th. The team to watch, Houston Texans, have played the second toughest schedule.
Yes.
You look at the teams they've played, they're all good. So
that's a great point. So there's a reason Denver is an underdog at home to Green Bay.
Exactly.
There's a reason New England at home is an underdog to Buffalo because of the schedule. We don't buy their wins. If I had to guess today, looking at all these teams, if you ask me who is going to make the AFC Championship, right now,
let me guess. We're hot on the Texans. They just beat the Chiefs. I went and bet some Texans to win the AFC. Texans to win the Super Bowl last night. Huh?
AFC Championship. Look at that. Who would you do?
I mean, whoever gets the bye has a big edge, clearly. But I would go, whoever gets the bye, I think it'll probably be the Patriots, and I will go Texans, Patriots. And
I'm the same way.
As of now, that sounds goofy, and we're going to get killed.
I totally agree. I think in Foxborough, it's going to be Drake May, C.J. Stroud. It's going to be D'Amico Ryans Vrabel. I would take New England, Denver. I can't believe you said that. So let's go to the NFC.
Wait, New England. Okay,
I would go Houston. New England hosting Texans.
Texans. Okay.
If I had to bet today, the best defense easily. With a very, very good coach and excellent quarterback.
And remember, that Eagles defense last year was off. Like, Hurts was really good. Saquon was good. Eagles defense was nasty.
Okay, let's go to the NFC now. Now, let me just, so right now, boy, this is tough.
Yeah.
Okay, and again, there's reseeding. I would guess.
I assume you think Rams are going to get the number one seed,
I think Rams-Packers feels like the team. I would go Rams. And again, I have no problem taking the 7th-seeded Texans because the AFC is weaker.
Okay.
But the two teams at the top right now, Rams and Green Bay, I get A-plus coaches, excellent quarterbacks, good enough O-lines, excellent playmakers, excellent pass rushes.
Yeah. So if you're hot on strength of schedule, the Rams have played the 14th toughest,
middle
of
the pack.
Seattle, 26th.
Yeah.
A lot of bad teams. Packers, 25th. The interesting team to watch here, we're not going to like to hear it, Philadelphia, 5th toughest schedule of opponents so far this year. So if you look at their schedule, they've played a lot of good teams. They beat a lot, but now they're struggling. The one team I would watch is San Francisco, Colin. They're getting healthy. They had the late bye. McCaffrey's fresh. I would keep an eye on the Niners. But the NFC is way tougher to diagram than the AFC is just not good right now.
That's good stuff.
You said Rams and Packers?
Yeah.
I think that's good. I just don't. We like the Rams. They don't have a huge home field advantage out here, man.
They don't.
So if the Packers come here, 70-30 Green Bay?
Yeah. God, that'd be
a great game.
But, in recent history, this, offensive coaches end up in the Final Four teams. So you'd get McVay, LaFleur, but then you'd get Vrabel and D'Amico, NFC coaches on the other side. That's why it's hard to go against Sean Payton because he'll manipulate. I mean, Denver's been so good in the fourth quarter. They're very good at manipulating outcomes and manipulating the playbook.
Would you bet Jordan Love to win the MVP right now?
No, Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, MVP?
Oh, come on. He had a 6-touchdown game. I mean, Green Bay has more support. Jordan Love has a great coach.
Didn't Allen win it last year? Remember, the media votes for this stuff.
Yeah, well.
They already gave Josh Allen one. They love to spread the wealth.
Jordan Love has a much better defense, 6 times the receiving core, and a better head coach.
I don't think the media thinks like that with their voting.
I just think Green Bay is a totally complete outfit. GM, fans, quarterback, coach, O-line's okay. I don't know where the O-line's ranked. It feels okay to me. In the middle of the O-line is okay. Weapons, pass rush.
Yeah. Josh Allen. Oh, interesting. Well, you better beat the Patriots. You can't lose to the Patriots twice. Or right? Drake May would get the MVP over Josh Allen.
Okay, I'm just telling you right now. We always do this. What happens if? What if Drake May and Mike Vrabel beat Buffalo again?
I think Drake's probably the MVP. Well,
but what does it tell you
team.
If you own the Bills? Mike Vrabel's first year in beats Josh Allen. First year. And by the way, when you watch the first game, is New England looked more complete. I mean, what does it tell you if I own the team and I'm like, okay, Vrabel comes in. Vrabel's still in a rebuild. New England still needs another draft. They've got some. Their offensive line is not great. Their run game's not very dynamic. That is, I'm telling you, we keep saying this. That is a big game for Buffalo this weekend.
Yeah.
You can't get swept by Drake May and Vrabel.
Is that the biggest game on the schedule?
Well, it is
Packers,
now.
Broncos, but also, yeah. Patriots, Bills. Yeah.